Everybody, this is Phil, and we're going to go over the reopening plan today and how to get to it. So, on our website, walworth.k12.wi.us, the first thing we're going to do is click Menu. From Menu, we are going to click Documents. You can see there are lots of lists of documents here, and we are going to go to and open the reopening plan. Here is the reopening plan. This will be adjusted as we know more, but here is our plan as we reopen school. You can see right away that we start with a table of contents, and so you can click the table of contents to go to a certain area. So if you were really interested in health office information, you can click that and you can just get the health office information. For today's purpose, I'm going to go ahead and go through each section with you quickly. And again, just so you know, you can find it on our website. So thanks for watching. First of all, we start off with missions, beliefs, values, and expectation. This has not changed. This has been our policy for a long time, but we try and start everything with that. Then we talk about the resources, and there have been numerous resources over the past 6 months that we have been working on with this. So here are some of them: the Department of Public Instruction, Bigfoot Area Schools, our Walworth County Department of Health, the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, Wisconsin Association of School District Administrators, many different legal resources, the Department of Health Services, and the Centers for Disease Control. Then we talk about rapidly changing information and guidelines, and I think everybody knows this, but things are changing rapidly, so we need to be flexible and willing to adjust. Next, we talk about communication and how we try and communicate. We use many different methods to communicate and try to do so in a relevant, timely fashion. So next is social emotional support. I'm just going to highlight this here. That doesn't help, but this is really important to Walworth, and so I want to read it. The Walworth Joint School District #1 recognizes the social emotional needs of our students and our families. For years, we've been at the forefront of social emotional health with our tiered guidance support for students and families. During the reopening of schools in fall 2020, the district recognizes the importance of social emotional support and plans to support our children with daily face-to-face guidance lessons in junior kindergarten and kindergarten, daily virtual guidance lessons for students in grades 1 through 8, as needed small group support with social distancing for students in grades JK through 8, as needed individual support with social distancing for students in grades JK through 8, and family, parent, and guardian support as needed. This is very important, and we want you to know that it's very important and we take it seriously. Next, we talk about self-monitoring, and here at Walworth, this is the way that we are monitoring the health of our students and staff, and that staff and students are required to self-monitor for symptoms daily. We've had a lot of communication about this. We've sent home a letter and a magnet and lots of different things, so this shouldn't be new if you've been able to get our previous communication. So, when should I keep my child home from school? Chills or shivering, cough, headache, muscle body aches, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, new loss of taste or smell, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, sore throat, temperature of 100.4 degrees or above, if your child has had close contact with somebody who has COVID-19, or if your child was diagnosed with COVID-19. Of course, if you have any questions, please call the school and ask for the health office. Learning options, we have 3 options: learning at school 5 days a week, virtual learning, which would be 5 days a week from home using our virtual programming, and our blended school virtual learning days, which families can choose which days their students learn from school and which days their students will use for virtual. So again, we want to make sure that you know as a family that you can change your option at any time. This is unique to Walworth in that our learning at school curriculum and our learning at home curriculum is the same. Our teachers have spent many, many hours getting that ready because we thought it was important for you to have choice. So for face-to-face, we're learning cohorts are in homerooms. Students report to homerooms in the morning, socially distanced desks, recess with that learning cohort, breakfast and lunch in the classroom, staff with face coverings, fewer or no guests or visitors in the building, and flexibility to change options at any time. Virtual has a homeroom teacher as the main support, additional support as needed, daily video lessons for core and encore classes, easy to follow schedule, daily flexibility for students and families, the same curriculum as learning at school, and the flexibility to change options at any time. In blended, they're a combination of the top two, so families choose the best days to learn at school and the best days to learn virtually. Learning at school and virtual learning use the same curriculum, and again, the flexibility to change options at any time. Again, transitioning, you can choose to change at any time. Please communicate both to your homeroom and to Mrs. Coleman in the Welcome Center. And if your student started out as virtual or is in virtual and needs to ride the bus company requires 48-hour notice. So let's talk about some of the steps we are taking to reduce the risk of COVID-19. This list is not all inclusive. It is a list of some of the major things. So first of all, we're asking families and caregivers to screen their student or self-monitor for signs and symptoms of COVID-19 daily and keep the student home if they were ill. And so then maintaining physical distancing as much as possible, keeping students in small groups, which we are referring to as cohorting, and that is within one classroom. Decreasing student movement between classrooms throughout the building, having specials teachers rotate between the classrooms, having school staff and students wear face coverings on the bus and inside the school building in compliance with Wisconsin's face cover mandate from July 30th, cleaning and disinfecting according to the CDC guidelines, improving ventilation by increasing the amount of outdoor air and increasing total airflow, eliminating shared supplies and having students use individual classroom supplies, and developing this comprehensive action plan in cooperation with public health so that we know how to respond to the COVID-19 case within the school. School supply lists are posted on the website under menu, documents, and school supply lists. If a family chooses not to purchase everything all at once, we just want you to know that that's okay. Send your students with the supplies that they have, and if you need more, they will let you know. Also, if somebody is financially unable to provide those school supplies, let us know. We will connect you with a resource that can help. With students with IEPs, special education services will still be provided through face-to-face or virtual instruction. If an IEP needs to be modified, your student's case manager will contact you. If you suspect your student has a disability, please contact Danielle Harkness, danielle.harkness@walworth.k12.wi.us. For students with 504 plans, if your student has a 504 plan, please direct all questions to Mrs. Wilson, jennifer.ott@walworth.k12.wi.us. Accommodations will be provided through face-to-face or virtual instruction. If a 504 plan needs to be modified, Mrs. Wilson will contact you. And if you suspect your student may need a 504 plan, please contact Mrs. Wilson. Our grading will be the same as in the past. We do use standard-based grading, and we will continue to use that. Grades will be received in all core areas and in the face-to-face encore class. Grades will not be received for virtual encore classes. For student drop-off in the morning, students can arrive after 7:30 a.m. Please do not arrive before 7:30. As soon as students arrive, they will be welcomed into their homeroom class. Increased staff supervision will be present indoors and outdoors to assist students with social distancing, masking, and to help reduce gatherings. All students should arrive by 8 a.m. so they can be in their homeroom by 8:05 each morning. Breakfast will be available to purchase each morning in the homeroom from 7:30 to 8. Parents, guardians that drop off their students are asked to stay in the drop-off vehicle if possible. If it's not possible and you need to help your little one get in, please know that's okay. And limit their stay so that other families can drop off the students in a timely manner. The other thing I'd like to add here is a lot of families come to Walworth, and if you have an older student that's going to assist a younger student, please know that that's completely okay. Family is comfort, and we're all here to help each other. For student departure in the afternoon, after school departure will be staggered depending on the bus timing. So the first two buses will be dismissed. When they start to load, the second two buses will be dismissed. And then at 3:25, walkers and riders will be dismissed. Parent guardians that pick up their students, again, are asked to stay in the drop-off vehicle if possible and limit their stay so other families can drop off their student, or pick up, sorry, that's an error, in a timely manner. Parents of younger students are welcome to walk to the area to pick up the younger child. Families with multiple ages of children should communicate the best pickup point for their children. As a rule, students in grades 5 through 8 should be picked up on the Beloit Street side of the building near the Circle Drive, and students in JK through 4th grade should be picked up on the Street side of the building near the playground parking stalls. These are just guidelines to assist families. Families should communicate with their homeroom teacher where the student is to be picked up after school. Students that walk home should go home directly and not stay at school to play or visit. Increased staff supervision will be present in and outdoors to assist students with social distancing, masking, and to help reduce gatherings. So in the schedules, we have face-to-face homeroom schedules consist of two 20-minute daily recesses, a 30-minute lunch, 3 core classes. English language arts would be one, read or math is the other, and then either science or social studies depending on what semester it is. One 40-minute face-to-face encore daily, and on most days, 3 10 to 15-minute virtual encore classes. Students will stay in their homeroom cohorts throughout the day. The school day starts at 8:05 and ends around 3:20, depending on the staggered dismissal. Virtual students will have daily contact with their homeroom via email, Google Classroom, web meeting, or phone. Most of the classes offered will be on demand so that the student can create their own schedule based on the student's needs. At times, some classes will be live. Live sessions will not be recorded by the teacher and should not be recorded by any student. The 40-minute encore class that face-to-face students will receive is not available to virtual students at this time. That specific encore class will rotate at quarter. Regarding small groups, Walworth believes in small group instruction. Small groups will be available for students with IEPs, students that benefit from EL support, counseling, band, choir, physical activity, and academic support such as reading and math. Social distancing will be required in these groups when possible, and when possible, students in small groups will be pulled from the same cohort. For recess, each homeroom will have two 20-minute recesses scheduled daily. Whenever possible, recess will be held outside in specific areas on the school grounds. Recess will be supervised by a staff member other than the homeroom teacher. Students in a homeroom are not allowed to interact with other students from other homerooms at recess due to social distancing and cohorting. The 20-minute time frame is strictly enforced to allow all students similar opportunities and to minimize exposure during transitions. The 20-minute time frame allows for students to leave their classroom, enjoy time outside, and return to class. If the weather is such that an outdoor recess is not possible, indoor recess will be held in the classroom. Students will be reminded that masks and social distancing is mandatory indoors. Masks are not required when a student is outside if they are able to keep their mask stored in a safe and clean manner and able to social distance from others. If a student is unable to store their mask in a safe manner when outside or finds it difficult to social distance while at recess, they will be required to wear a mask outside at recess. Let's talk about food service. The school food service will have a breakfast available for any student that wishes to purchase one in their homeroom. Students will not need to pre-register for breakfast. They can notify a staff member when they arrive in the homeroom. Breakfast will only be available from 7:30 to 8 a.m., and breakfast will not be available after 8 a.m. Nutrition break will be available for students in grades 5 through 8 and will be brought to the room for students that wish to purchase one. Lunch will be held in the homeroom. Food service will have grab-and-go lunches available for purchase. Students will place their orders in the morning and the lunches will be delivered to the homeroom in time for their lunch. Students are welcome to bring their own lunch to eat during lunchtime. Walworth is using a cohort model to help minimize the risk of COVID-19. Students will be placed in cohorts we are referring to as homerooms. The homerooms will stay with each other throughout the day and have minimal mixing with other students. The homerooms will have reduced exposure with school staff as most of the time they will be with their homeroom teacher, the encore teacher assigned to their grade, or a support staff or paraprofessional assigned to that class. Some students may have small groups with students in other cohorts for purposes such as special education, English language support, or guidance. Care will be taken to minimize these groups when possible and use social distancing as possible. Electronic devices such as a Chromebook or an iPad are available for students while in face-to-face learning, virtual learning, and blended learning. Students should take extra care of the device while in school, traveling, or using the device outside of school. Students and families are responsible for paying for damages to the device that they borrow. If a virtual student needs to borrow a device, they should contact the Welcome Center, 262-275-6896, to request one. School electronic devices should only be used for school purposes. Families that do not have Wi-Fi or have limited access to Wi-Fi may be able to borrow a Wi-Fi hotspot from the school. Families are responsible for any damages to the hotspot. The data service on the hotspot is paid for by the district. Guests and visitors will be limited to only essential guests. Parents, guardians, and/or community members are welcome to set up an appointment if they wish to speak to a school employee face-to-face. Classroom visitors, lunches with students, and other non-essential activities are not allowed at this time. Walworth has a written cleaning daily schedule that its team accomplishes each day. In addition, staff cleans other areas as needs come up. Teachers are equipped with gloves, clean towels, and sanitizer each day for cleaning in the classroom. Other mitigation strategies include social distancing floor vinyl paw prints throughout the building, painted social distancing paw prints outside, plexiglass dividers on junior kindergarten and kindergarten tables. No drinking fountains while bottle fillers are available. Hand sanitizer is available in every classroom and throughout the school. Paper towel has been added to all bathrooms, and the reduction of shared supplies in classrooms. When supplies are shared, they are properly disinfected between uses. For homeroom or for health office information, our school nurse is Katie Smith, and the district shares that position with Bigfoot High School. In addition, the district has added a full-time health aide, Claudia Ortiz, to assist with the health office this year. The previous conference room located across from the health office has been converted into health office number 2 to be used when needed for students with flu-like symptoms. Mrs. Smith is providing training to staff on how best to handle the unique situations this year. Walworth staff have increased their before-school training in safe schools by adding 2 trainings on COVID-19. In addition, staff will have a video training or have had a video training by our school nurse, Katie Smith. Busing will be provided by Dousman Transportation Company. Students 5 years old and above are required to mask while getting on the bus. When on the bus and while getting off of the bus, all students will have assigned seats. Students will load the bus back to front and unload the bus front to back. When possible, it is helpful for parents to transport their students to school to minimize the number of students that are on the bus. If a student is a virtual student or is quarantined, a 48-hour notice will be required before the student can ride the bus to or from school. Each student must bring a clean and approved a mask or face covering daily. The district will be using the guidelines set forth in Wisconsin's face cover mandate. Masks or face coverings will also be required on school buses. Students who maintain social distancing protocols are not required to mask while at outdoor recess. If the student is unable to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or greater, they will need to wear a mask while at recess. Students will be reminded to wear their masks, face coverings, and instructed on how to do so properly. Children under the age of 5 are not required to mask and may opt to do so. Student development will be taken into consideration regarding face coverings and masks. Students must not wear face coverings or masks with offensive messaging, images, or symbols. The district reserves the right to determine that a message is inappropriate for school and school-sponsored activities. Students should bring extra clean masks with them to school. If anyone is financially unable to purchase masks or face coverings, parents, guardians should contact the school office for assistance. Students who willfully refuse to comply with face covering mask expectations will be removed from other students and sent home. Repeated offenses will result in virtual programming. If your student is unable to wear a mask face covering for a school day, parents, guardians should consider the use of our virtual or blended learning option. When to stay home? This is very similar to safe monitoring or self-monitoring that we covered above. It is important for you to keep your student home when they are not feeling well. If you have any questions, please contact the health office. And again, here is the list. Chills or shivering, cough, headache, muscle or body aches, nausea, vomiting or diarrhea, new loss of taste or smell, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, sore throat, temperature of 100.4 or above, if your student has had close contact with someone who has COVID, or if they have been diagnosed with COVID. Parents, guardians must take their student's temperature each morning before school. Parents, guardians that have a student with symptoms related to COVID-19 must contact the school nurse before entering a school bus or the school building. Any COVID-19 related absence will be excused and not count towards truancy. Students must stay home if they are diagnosed with COVID-19. Students must stay home if an individual in their residence has COVID-19. Students must stay home if an individual in their residence has COVID-19 symptoms and is awaiting COVID-19 test results. Students must stay home if they have been exposed to COVID-19. If you have further questions on the above information, please contact the school nurse. After school's activities for fall volleyball, flag football, cross country, and cheerleading are canceled. In addition, all after school activities are canceled until further notice. How you can help. Here are some things that you can do to help. Help your students wash their hands often. Help them avoid close contact with people who are sick. Please help remind them to stay 6 feet apart from other people outside of their household. Remind and encourage the students who are able to do so to safely cover their mouth and nose with a cloth face covering when they are around others. Teach them to clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces daily. Please communicate with the school regarding any sickness that your student is experiencing. Please ask questions as they come up. Contact information is below. And follow us on Facebook for other ideas, facebook.com/WalworthJ1. For general information, please call the Welcome Center at 262-275-6896. For nursing and health office information, please email katie.smith@walworth.k12.wi.us. For information regarding the school policies, and student issues, please contact our TOSA, caitlin.dowden@walworth.k12.wi.us, or you can call the Welcome Center and ask to be transferred. For information regarding the district, please contact me, phil.clam@walworth.k12.wi.us, or call the Welcome Center and ask to be transferred. Thank you for watching this video with me today. Again, it is located on our website. This is our reopening plan, and it is under Walworth, our school website, menu, documents, and then scroll, and it's right here, reopening plan Walworth. If you have any questions, please contact us. Thank you so much for watching.